And we are now coming into the very beginning,
Captain.
and we're
yourself with
welcome.
the World of Warships by battling against bots. To unlock the next access level, play one battle.
Okay, so the deal here is that you have to select a ship for your first battle. These are all going to be cruisers. We'll cover game classes later. And you can pick between a German cruiser, a US cruiser, and a Japanese cruiser. We're going to go ahead and choose the Erie, which is a US cruiser. And we're going to start a battle. We're going into co-op. This is going to be very simple. Basically, we're going to have guns. We're going to have a cruiser. The game will take a minute to load. And what's happening is any other new users are going to show up along with bots. And right here, where my cursor is, we're going into Neighbors, which is a map. And it has these various islands and stuff. And these green ships are our team. So as we go in, the other team, all made up of robots in this case, is going to be spawning or showing up over here. It'll take about 30 seconds to spawn. And our job, here we are, is to go ahead and shoot the other side. So we have 4 keys to navigate. W key goes forward. The S key goes back. The A key goes to port, or the left side. And the D key shifts us to the right. And you can see down below, as I press the A key, it shows up down in where the little arrow is shifting to max. And this is how fast our helm is turning. We have a virtual ship. And there may be a couple of elements on here. This is not my primary account. This is a new account for showing. So there may be a few things different in yours. We're going to show you how to add the extras later. But up at the top, here comes a bad guy. And so I'm turning to face him. I don't want to give my broadside, the side of my ship. And holding down the left mouse button will start shooting guns. And you can see the shells moving. As we learn other shell types, we'll find out about torpedoes and different types of artillery ammunition and all kinds of other goodies. But right now, you just basically, you hold down the left mouse button, it shoots. You keep steering because you don't want to get hit by their artillery, because guess what? They're shooting back. So we're going to try to sink them. And as I hit him, you can see, now there's the symbol that just showed up for a fire. And you have different ways you can hit. You can ricochet, you can set a fire, you can do significant damage with various ways in this game. The first game is very simple. Now you see R, I'm going to hit R and I'm going to repair that damaged module. There's different times you want to do that and don't want to do that. Now I just got a kill. And I'm going to keep shooting. Now these games are designed at this level to be simple. All you're really trying to do right now is learn to navigate and hit things and take them out. Because as you advance, you're going to be playing humans in different kinds of ships. There's a ton of variables. That's part of what makes this game interesting. You'll notice at the beginning we had choices of different kinds of cruisers we could have played. And we're going to be covering that too. And later actually review individual ships and show you resources where you can learn more as you go along. But this is the very simplest form of the game right now. And I got another fire going. With a little bit of luck, I can kill this guy. Very close, there we go. There's one ship left. You'll notice down at the bottom too, I've got a little green box there with a shell in it. That's showing that my guns are ready. Just above it are a bunch of lines that shows which shells which guns are ready and how long it's going to take before they're ready. As you advance, you'll find that different ships have different times it takes for their guns to become ready. Basically, the more powerful they are, the longer they take, but the more an individual shell can do. But this is basically what you do the very first thing to get pulled into the game. The game is now over, and we're going to get results. And this tells us what we've done. we've earned some XP, which is experience, and that's what you take to get into your next level of ship and advance in the game. We're not quite there yet to get into the next tier, but we have played our first game in co-op. Now, the first results screen shows us how much damage we did. We did 11,369 health points. That's an in-game measure of how healthy a ship is. Bigger, stronger ships have more health points, and smaller, fragile ships have fewer health points. And we had 53 gun hits. That's what that little gray one indicates. This says we incapacitated something like a gun or a steering mechanism. This one right here doesn't tell us exactly what we did. This is how many we destroyed, and we destroyed 3 ships, and we also set 4 fires because damage and points are counted a bit differently. It will seem complicated at first. Don't worry about it. It'll all come with time, and we'll have more videos to help you understand it. We came in first on the team. This is what's called raw XP, okay? And in this case, that's all you've got at this level. We sank 3 ships. There were no airplanes in the battle. The other side sunk 3 of us, so the enemies are always in red. We're always in green. And we get a detailed report. So the Black Swan, we hit the Black Swan with 22 shells and did 4,500 in damage. And the Hermling, we did 13 shells for 33,075. Don't worry about the AP and HE. I'll explain that in another video. That's a more advanced topic. The Erie, 1677. And you can see here, it means we sank them. This means we just did damage to them. And this shows the damage we received. We received 2,500 in damage. And we almost got another 45,500 in damage, but those shells didn't hit us. But all these things are factored into what points you get, how long you last in a battle, and what your hit percentage is, how many ships you spot. Again, these are all topics we'll take up later. And we don't have a premium account. We'll talk about premium accounts later. That enhances your ability to earn and do neat stuff. But you can play for free just with a basic account, as said, without premium. And again, we'll cover that all later in a video on economics. And now we are going into the interface. And we have reached a new access level.
Now you can research, enhance, and purchase new ships.
So we got through the first game, and we are in the port. Now here we have a designer's table. This is one of a number of so-called ports. And if you find this busy or want something else, this is an example of how layered this game is. I'm going to choose Fjords for my port, and we're going to save changes. So what I did to do that, and it's loading the port. I went up to Fjords, or now it says Fjords, but up to port, select port, and chose it. But this was the first battle. We're going to cover the rest in later videos. And I'll go over the whole interface and settings, and we'll have other folks showing you additional things. Right now, just beginning the game, you have 4 ships. If you want to play another game in co-op and get a little better understanding of it, feel free to do it. If you got a recommendation from another person to play the game, or if you give one, you can get rewards for that. In this case, I got a reward of the Diana Lima, which is a premium ship, and I'll explain more about that too. But generally speaking, if you didn't get an invitation, you will have 3 port slots. You'll have, well, actually you've got 10 vacant port slots you can add more ships to. To have a ship in port, you need a port slot to berth it. But we'll get into all that economic and stuff later. If you feel like playing another game, grab one of these other boats. In fact, I'll start one for you just to show you. So what you do, you choose your ship. You can replay the other ship again if you wish. That will actually help you advance to the next ship in the line. But we'll just take another ship out just to show you. They're just a little different at this level. Later they get much more different. There's lots of neat stuff in this game. That's part of what makes it so fun and engaging. So now we're taking out the Hashitati, and it takes up to 30 seconds in co-op. Other modes might take 5 minutes or longer depending on who else is playing and how. We're in what's called standard battle. That means we have this green objective we want to keep, and this is a red objective that if we can we take, but that generally doesn't happen in co-op. But if you take the other person's base in this mode, you win the game. So you have to defend your port, and you have to work on killing other ships and keeping them from taking yours. That's called the mission. So missions are separate in a sense from killing boats, but they sort of run together. So again, I'm pressing the W key to get started, and I am turning to port by pressing the A key, and I can press the W key to go forward. Now I'm pressing the D key to turn to starboard or right, and I'm holding down the S key to slow down. And if you look over in the bottom right, or I'm sorry, bottom left, you'll see a highlighted area shift from full to 3/4 to half, etc. Right now it's at 1/4, and you can see right next to that it's showing that I'm going at 4.7 knots, and I'm slowly increasing. A knot is a nautical mile. It's basically 1.4 land miles, so it's a little faster than 8 miles an hour. Ships vary in speed from very slow. There are some that are in the teens at full speed, and some that go into the 40 knot plus range. That'll be later in the game. And now if you look over on the far right, you see a map. And you can see red ships appearing as they get spotted. And when they get in range, if you look, you see a green circle. That's where my shells are aiming. And you may want to experiment with this a little bit. The ships are moving targets. The original computers were actually designed to help navies figure out where naval gunfire was going to hit. It's a pretty involved mathematic thing. You just saw the yellow with the sort of a lightning symbol on it. That means I incapacitated something on the ship. And the one with the sort of triangle thing, that indicates a fire. And you can also see how far away the other ship is. And I'm going to explain aiming a bit more in later videos. But you see the 4.3, 3 point something to the left of the green circle. That indicates how long it's going to take for that shell to get there. And it gives you a help in aiming and figuring out where to place your shells. Right now you can just worry on it, work with it being intuitive and just sort of lining them up. There is an awful lot of things to learn at first. The thing right now is just get a chance to shoot, maneuver the ship, and have some fun with it. So this ship is coming head on to me, and I'm going to try to put some shells in it and kill it. Remember that these bots, or robot computer-generated ships, are not quite as good a player, generally speaking. It varies from person to person. You press the left mouse button to shoot. And there we have a kill. The mouse scroll button will help you move back and forth as we zoom. To get in closer, because it's easier to aim when you're in closer. If you hold the right mouse button down, that will generally bring you back. We're going to go over all the settings later. There's a lot of things that can make it a lot handier. There's only a couple of ships left. That ship too far away. Oh, that was the game. But anyway, there's a couple of games to get started. Again, you can play with some more. Once again, we earned some XP. And we actually have gotten enough to get into the Chukama, which is the next boat in this, and we'll go into that in a subsequent video of how you advance. But the better your accuracy, the more you do, the higher your score, and the faster you advance. That's sort of the gist of it. It's performance-based rewards, and you earn different currencies. You will need these little silver tokens right here called credits to buy ships and other goodies in the game. And you will need the XP to get the experience points to be able to open up a new ship. Number of reasons for that, one of which is you don't want to be playing against very advanced players, and they don't want you on their team until you get some skills, so that's how you do it. Anyway, we'll go back to port now. You can either click down at the bottom, back to port, or the escape key, and it will bring you back to port. And we have gotten some rewards. And this is again because I went ahead and got an invitation from a friend. If you invite your friend, you will also get rewards. These are more credits to buy things with. Doubloons are in-game currency that you purchase, and they allow you to do certain things you can't do otherwise. And premium time gives you extra bonuses. And like I said, we'll get into a whole thing on ships economy soon. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this brief introduction, and we'll see you out there.